Imagine leading the world's most powerful country while struggling to find a way out of a war that is becoming more expensive, more deadly, and politically more damaging by the day. Now, that's exactly what fresh claims from inside the White House are suggesting. According to a new report, Donald Trump has reportedly become increasingly erratic behind closed doors as pressure mounts over the ongoing Iran conflict. From shifting strategies to heated exchanges and growing scrutiny from lawmakers, the latest revelations are painting a picture of an administration under intense strain. But how much of this is political spin, and how much reflects the reality inside the White House? Let's break it all down. According to White House insiders, U.S. President Donald Trump has reportedly descended into what has been described as new levels of erratic behavior after failing to come up with what insiders call a strategic withdrawal from the Iran war. The report claims Trump has effectively been backed into a corner as the conflict continues with no clear resolution in sight. As per reports from the New York Times, the president is struggling to find an exit from the conflict that would save face. According to the report, the lack of viable options has reportedly made Trump increasingly frustrated and more prone to changing his position on how the conflict should be handled. And the pressure isn't just coming from behind closed doors. It's also coming from rising casualties, increasing costs, and growing political scrutiny in Washington. The report claims that the conflict has already claimed the lives of 18 Americans. As those numbers continue to rise, criticism over the administration's handling of the war has become louder. Meanwhile, the White House has not publicly confirmed these insider accounts. The Irish Star reports that it reached out to the White House for comment. But despite the criticism and reports of internal frustration, Trump continues to publicly project confidence. When asked about his strategy for ending the conflict, the president described himself as a peace president. Yet, at the same time, he suggested military action would continue if necessary. Speaking about the ongoing campaign, Trump said, "We're just going to keep going just the way we are." He then added, "There's a military exit where we just keep going just the way we are, and we can even make it a heavier dose, and it's knocking out everything they have." Those comments stood in sharp contrast to his simultaneous insistence that diplomacy remains the preferred option. Moments later, Trump appeared to leave the door open for negotiations once again. According to the report, the president argued that making a deal with Iran would ultimately be the smarter strategy, even though previous ceasefire efforts had reportedly collapsed. Trump said, "I just don't think they're ready yet, but they do want to make a deal." That message echoes remarks he has made repeatedly over recent months, insisting that talks between the United States and Iran are still ongoing despite continued violence. In an earlier interview, Trump also stated, "I believe they have enough." But while the president insists diplomacy remains alive, events on the ground appear far more complicated. During a hearing, Senator Jon Ossoff confronted Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth over comments he had made earlier in the conflict. Ossoff referred back to Hegseth's assessment from the 14th day of the war, when the defense secretary had claimed Iran's military had been destroyed and made combat ineffective. The senator wanted one simple clarification. Was that statement accurate? Yes or no? But according to the report, Hegseth didn't give a direct answer. Instead, he responded by saying they didn't have a navy any longer, it was completely sunk, their missiles were buried underneath a lot of their underground facilities, and their defense industrial bases had been almost completely destroyed. So as far as a military assessment of Iran's capability, before he could finish, Ossoff pressed him once again. Refusing to move on, Senator Ossoff repeated his question almost word for word. He said, "Mr. Secretary, you stated that on day 14 of this conflict, the second week of the conflict, you stated that Iran's military had been destroyed and made combat ineffective. Was that an accurate statement? Yes or no?" According to the report, Hegseth once again attempted to shift the conversation. He began saying, "Iran's ability to challenge the United States of America at the level at which we're capable of," but Ossoff interrupted again, asking him to answer the original question instead. The exchange has since fueled fresh debate over whether the administration's public messaging about the conflict has remained consistent. While lawmakers questioned the administration's military assessment, another concern was becoming impossible to ignore: the financial cost. During his testimony before Congress, Hegseth revealed that the conflict has already cost $37.5 billion. He then asked lawmakers to approve an additional $67 billion to fund continuing operations. That staggering price tag comes on top of the human cost already being reported, making the conflict one of the most expensive and politically sensitive issues currently facing the administration. Yet, despite the mounting costs, the rising casualties, and increasing scrutiny from Congress, Trump continues to insist negotiations remain possible. The report says the president has repeatedly maintained that talks with Iran are still taking place, even as violence continues. Whether those negotiations eventually lead to a diplomatic breakthrough or whether military operations continue remains uncertain. For now, the White House faces growing pressure from lawmakers, mounting public scrutiny, and difficult questions about both its military strategy and long-term plan. For now, these reports remain claims made by White House insiders, while several of the administration's statements continue to face political scrutiny and debate. What's clear, however, is that the Iran conflict is no longer just a battlefield story. It has become a political test inside Washington itself, with Congress demanding answers, billions of dollars already spent, and questions continuing over what comes next. Will diplomacy eventually prevail, or will the conflict deepen even further? Only time will tell. Until then, the pressure inside the White House appears far from over.